I have a surprise for you. We all know that I spend a lot of time and I make a lot of videos making fun of Sims builds. It's coming from a place of love, okay? I want The Sims to be the best that it can be. I want the world to be super cool. And I don't think that's gonna be a problem with this new pack because I built for it. I built 3 of the lots in the new pack. I know. They let me do it. Me! So way back in August, I got an email that was like, hey, can we set up a meeting for an exciting EA opportunity? And I was like, yeah, anytime. Little did I know that I was gonna get in a call and they were gonna show us like a breakdown of their plans for the new pack, their like style and inspiration for the new pack, and then be like, hey, do you wanna build the lots for it? Because yes, absolutely yes, I wanna build the lots for it. And it's been a really interesting process because I first got the game to like start working on the builds before it was anywhere near done. Like our first version of this pack had like 4 build items in it that we could access in the catalog. So when I first started building, I was using just the base game and kind of trying to build shells and layouts and like figure out what I wanted to do. And so for the last few months, I've been like slowly updating and adding and changing and like making it better as we get more items in the game. They had shown us like some concept art, so I knew what was coming, but I just didn't have it yet. So I would put a base game couch and be like, all right, I'll replace that with the pack couch once we actually get it. And so it's been super cool like watching my builds evolve as I get more items and like see all the swatches and can actually change things. So 4 of us worked on this. It was me, Simlisy, Deligracy, and James Turner. And they had us split the lots between all of us. You can see there are quite a few lots in this world. There are 3 neighborhoods. There's this mountain area up at the top, the summit. There are 2 rental lots that your Sims can come like stay in on vacation. There's an onsen bathhouse, and then there's this like mountain point. Then this like town area, the smaller town space, has a bar, a park, a starter home, and then 2 other pre-made families living here. This is a more traditional area. They wanted like more traditional vibes and older looking homes. And then this area down here is supposed to be more modern, more up and coming. You can see there's like a big mansion here, another rental lot, also a starter home, and a lounge. And so this started before there was even a map drawn. They had laid out, okay, we want to have this many rentals. We want to have this many residential houses. We want this family to live in this residential house with this lot size. We want to have this family here. And so they kind of had a plan for who they wanted to live where and what they wanted to exist. And then we divvied it out between us. I knew I didn't really want to do any community lots. Like, I don't think I'm super good at making bars and lounges and stuff. And so I was like, I'm not cut out for that. I would ruin it. Somebody else should take those. I wanted to do a starter home really badly. Obviously, there are 2 in the world. And I love building starter homes. It's like kind of a fun challenge. So I wanted to do one of those. And I also wanted to do like the pre-made families homes because like I'm so into the storyline and like building a house and a special bedroom for one of the Sims. Like I love that. And so I ended up building 2 of the houses in this neighborhood. I built a starter home here. I built this house for this family. This is like an elder couple and their granddaughter. And then I built the 50 by 50 lot down here for like this wealthy couple and their 2 kids. I don't know how I got that big lot. We all kind of were like, I don't really want to do the big one. And I was like, I will take one for the team. I volunteer as tribute. I will do the big lot. And honestly, I had a lot of fun doing it. So I think we should start there. Let's head into this family's home and I'll show you what I built. So keep in mind, this neighborhood was supposed to be a little bit more modern in style. No spoilers. And so I wanted to kind of have that, but I also wanted it to have some sort of like traditional accents and vibes and stuff like that. And so this is what I built. This house took me so much time and changes. I went back and forth so much with what I wanted to do. When I first started it, it was like all white and like this light beige color, and then I made it black and white at the very end, but I really like how it turned out. So it's kind of difficult to start because I knew they were going to have some limitations on like how this will run on lower end computers because they want every lot to run on like the lowest specs, right? But you don't really know how that's gonna work until they play test it, so I was going into it aware I might have to remove some items. I didn't end up having to remove anything, by the way, which I think is a feat, an impressive feat. But here is the whole exterior. There's like these big fountains in the back. Like, I really enjoyed how this turned out. I did a couple sneaky things because obviously I knew I had this giant lot, but I had to have sort of limited items inside. Not really, it ended up being totally fine. So I built a wall around the yard and I kind of like faked the yard being smaller. There's a ton of space left on the lot, but luckily I think it looks totally fine. And so we kind of like shrunk in our lot size by building this fake wall. And I think it blends in really well. Like, I don't think it looks like the house is too small for the lot, even though the house is really small compared to how big the lot is. I think one of my favorite parts was this little garden in the back here. I like how the trees like stick up between the house. I also really, really like this glass roof. I think that skylight looks awesome. But let me show you the inside. So when you first walk in, you'll see that I tried to make use of the platforms that they've added, these new build features they've added. So the house is all kind of split level. We also have some like decorative platforms and stuff. You can see the entryway has these 2 decorative platforms on either side. I love how this house looks on the interior. There's this nice living room here that you first walk into. I put a chess table because I like to have these items that are like functional for when you actually play in the house. And I know that like so many of my Sims need to use chess and like get their logic and all this for work. And so I was like, let's definitely have some sort of functional gameplay items in here. So I have that there. There's this open kitchen dining room area, which I thought looked so cool. I love these new cabinets. When I first built it, I actually originally had like a double island and the stove was in the island and it looked awesome, but I decided I wanted to like split it up a little bit more and I wanted to have obviously that glass roof and I wanted to have a decorative thing, and then it was too small, so I ended up getting rid of the double island. I still think it looks good. I like the floor a lot too. I was trying to do things to make it look a little bit more interesting while also like not making massive changes. So this floor is just the same wood tiles but rotated back and forth. You can see there's huge windows into the garden from this living space, and then you come in and there's like a sort of piano room area. That's the other thing. This house is massive, and so when I was trying to figure out how to lay it out, I was like, what am I gonna do with all these giant rooms? Like, how am I meant to do this? But I think this layout worked pretty well, and of course the staircase to the upstairs is here. There's 2 bathrooms over here, one in the hallway and then one attached to the parents' bedroom. The parents' bedroom is huge. I think this turned out really well too. It has that similar platform thing. They've got a fireplace in their room. They have a door to the outside from their bedroom. I mean, they are living large in here, let's be honest. And then when you go upstairs, there's 2 bedrooms, one for each kid. So they've got a child, and this is her bedroom. I wanted to use a lot of the new furniture, and I thought that this bed looked so good with like this color rug, so I did that. And they finally added a new one of these science chemistry tables, so I gave her that too. I also put some postcards on the wall. I think this item is so cute. It was really fun being able to like give these Sims personalities. And keep in mind, when I was making these rooms, I had sort of a general like outline of what the Sims personality was going to be like and what their traits were going to be and what their skills were going to be, maybe what their interests are, but I didn't know what they looked like. They hadn't even made the Sims yet when I was making the room. But I had a lot of fun like imagining the little girl who would live here and like decorating for her. That was like one of my favorite parts of this. And then her brother has a bedroom as well. He's supposed to be super into snowboarding. He's got level 6 in the skill. So it was kind of fun like decorating a room that would fit him. He also has the guitar skill and the fitness skill, so I gave him like this thing to work out. He's got a guitar, his own laptop, stuff like that. I also kind of like that the whole house is so like pristine and like black and white. Then their bedrooms are pretty colorful. I thought it was kind of fun that way. I also used the platform tool to do this new roof. It was fun trying to experiment with platforms and like find ways to use that new build tool. I mean, there just really are so many options when you take this thing and try to turn it into something interesting. This house definitely is the best example of that. My other houses are a lot smaller, so it was harder to do like fancy things with them, I guess. But I just love how this like decorative platform looks. I think that this is so cool. There's just so many possibilities with this new tool. I'm so excited to mess with it more. But that is my 50 by 50 lot. As you can see, like I didn't have to take out any items. I don't think this lot looks empty at all. It was just definitely like a concern in the back of my mind. I was like, maybe I might have to remove some things once we actually finish the build and they start playtesting it. But in the end, it turned out great, I think. Even like the little areas to sit outside and stuff. There's like some playground equipment for the kid. I loved the pathway that I did too. I thought this was pretty clever, having this like walkway. I don't know. Not to toot my own horn, but I spent a very, very long time on this house. Like multiple nights I was up until like midnight, 1, 2 a.m. just working on this build. But like I said, I'm pretty proud of it. I think I will show you my starter home next because this one kind of had the opposite challenge. So keep in mind, when I was building these houses originally, a lot of the items didn't exist yet. Like they hadn't even added them into the game, but also a lot of them hadn't had their prices tagged yet. So I was building a house, but like the items I was using didn't have prices on them yet. So I was like, hopefully this couch will be cheap enough to use. And I was like putting in new items and being like, fingers crossed, I don't have to change this, because again, the prices weren't fixed and set yet. So I didn't really know how much my starter home was gonna cost. So I was like fully prepared to have to change everything. I was doing things like placing a moderately expensive base game couch as a filler and like hoping it would work out. I also rebuilt this starter home, I am not kidding, like 5 or 6 times. I like bulldozed it, started over, bulldozed it, started over. I built so many variants of it because I wasn't sure what I wanted it to look like, because I wanted to do something interesting, but I wanted it to fit in with the neighborhood. And like I knew that if I made it 2 stories, it would be really expensive. So if I didn't have stairs, it could be cheaper, but like it looks better with 2 stories. And so I went back and forth so much trying to figure out what the best way to do it was. And also when you move in and you pay for the lot, because the lot cost about 2,000 simoleons, which, by the way, they hadn't priced the lot yet either when I built this, so I really didn't know how much the house was gonna cost. Your sim ends up with 112 simoleons, so we kind of cut it close there, but it's okay. That is enough money. You can still buy food. So this neighborhood was supposed to be a little bit more traditional. It's kind of like the small town area that I was talking about. And I tried to make my house look similar to the houses that are nearby. You can see it's kind of a similar style to what you're seeing around. I wanted it to blend in, but I also wanted it to look good and functional and nice. And so I prioritized function in a lot of places because I know that when I'm playing with my Sims, I want to have like skill items. I did that in a lot of my houses. So there's things like this little planter box because there isn't really grass in this lot. So the planter box is helpful. There's an easel so that you can make some money. There isn't really a backyard because we don't have enough money for that, as you can probably imagine. And then when you come inside, I did similar things with the split leveling. A lot of traditional Japanese homes kind of have this area, this like sunken area by the front door. I also learned from my research that the kotatsu table is often maybe in front of the TV and stuff like that. So we put that here. And then there's a kitchen area back this way. 2-bedroom house. So we have this like somewhat generic bedroom downstairs. That's the other thing. I wanted to make this house, because it's a starter home and like anyone could click into it and start playing immediately, I didn't want to make it like super set for like a certain type of family. Like I didn't want it to be like a little boy's room or whatever, or like a toddler's room. I wanted it to be just a sort of like anyone could sleep here, a child, a teen, grandma, like if you've got an extra sim, they can stay in this room. And I figure like a lot of times when you're playing, if you do have like specific needs, maybe you want to decorate for your son, you can always adjust it a little bit, but when you first start playing, it functions and works and is fine for everybody. Upstairs there's a parent's bedroom. Again, with the skill items, I put this bonsai tree here. Also a computer, because I think that computers are like the lifeline of the Sims 4. Your Sims need it to do all kinds of things for work, to get a job, like they need it for so much stuff. So I put the computer there. That was like a priority for me. I was like, if I'm building a starter home, it will have a computer. I insist. I wanted a computer and a TV because then you can like do all the things you might want to and not be limited by anything. There's one bathroom here, and in a lot of Japanese homes, the toilet will be in a separate room, and so we did that here as well. I also put the dresser outside of the bedroom for no reason. It just didn't really fit in here, so I put it here. But there is one, so it functions. I like this house a lot. I'm really proud of how it turned out. I don't think it looks too much like a starter home, right? Like I think that sometimes starter homes look a little bit empty and cheap. I know the downstairs maybe could have some more furniture, but it's a starter home. So what are you gonna do? It even has a trash can inside and outside, so that's a perk. Also, this item, they asked us to put this in all of our houses. So typically in Japan, you don't wear shoes inside of your home. And so with that sign in your house, your Sims will take their shoes off inside. This is probably a bad example because this Sim's wearing a costume. She doesn't have shoes. But that's what that's supposed to be. So you'll see that in all of my houses that I built. Shoes, schmooze. See, it worked. And then the last house that I built is this one. This is for that elder couple and their granddaughter who lives with them now. And so I knew going into it, that was the sort of vibe and style that I was going for. I had so much fun using the new build items on this. Like these roof pieces are amazing. I thought it was so cool getting to use those. I think the house ended up looking really, really nice. They have a little garden in the back of their house, which again is me kind of trying to prioritize functionality. Like I liked the idea of having a grill if you wanted to play here. They've got a couple little garden planters here. I actually put plants in them. There's a daisy and a bluebell bush. I think this new mailbox, again, looks so good. And then when you actually walk into the house, I had so much fun with my like platform usage in this one. So again, the entryway is a little bit lower than the rest of the house. I put a chess table for function, again, in this one. I also just think it fills up the room pretty well. We've got some like decorative platforms in the corners to put some plants on. I've got these tatami mats in here. And from what I've seen in a lot of Japanese houses that I've been looking up and researching, they'll oftentimes have no furniture on the tatami mats, or they'll have the kotatsu table. So I put that here. There's a living space down here. I have a fireplace because this is a mountain world. It is cold. So I put that there. I love getting to use like these doors inside, and like with the split leveling again, I just think it looks so cool having these multiple levels in the home. The kitchen's back here. I also have more decorative platforms in this area. Can you see I was like having a blast with my platforms? There's a small bathroom downstairs, and then upstairs there's a little hallway, and then the 2 bedrooms, one for the granddaughter, which I had so much fun decorating. I just loved getting to like imagine who would live here and what her bedroom would look like. So she's actually a really good snowboarder. She has level 7 in the skill, and I knew that she was gonna have like these certain traits and these certain skills, so I gave her this thing on the wall, and that kind of like dictated my color scheme for the room, as you can see. But I wanted her to have a computer because again, computers are a lifeline in The Sims, so she's got one. She has some posters, a little backpack. I loved putting the postcards on her wall. I just think this is so cute. She has her own bathroom off of her bedroom, and then her grandparents have a bigger room, obviously. They've got a little closet space in here, and then their bathroom is bigger bigger. I think this house looks so cute. I love the new items in this pack so much. I had so much fun getting to use them. A fun thing that I learned also while doing these builds, obviously I didn't really know going into it what their exact like limitations were for building. I kind of figured that they had like maybe certain object counts. Obviously a couch is more draining than like a plant, so you know, things like that. But they also told us that having multiple different kinds of wallpaper can be a problem. So they asked us if we had like empty rooms like these little boxes here to paint them the same as like these other ones, because even the like default wallpaper counts as a different wallpaper. So like usually it would just be like this and it would have that default this thing in there and the default concrete, but if you paint it the same as the rest of the house, it's not using a different one, which I had never even considered before. But it's like those little things they do to impact performance and stuff. You can see that I was kind of trying to match some of the houses nearby again with this one, but I also wanted it to look interesting, and I think that I achieved that. I tried to mimic like some of the existing landscaping and stuff too. And as you can see, like most of these houses that are in the world don't actually have landscaping around them because they're just like on the pavement and stuff. But I think that looks kind of odd when you build a lot in The Sims. It obviously looks fine in the environment, but when you actually build a house and then don't put anything on it, I feel like sometimes it looks a little bit out of place. And this lot is tiny. It's 20 by 15 lot, so we didn't have that much space to work with, but I think I managed to make it work. With this house, I didn't end up changing as much as I did in the other ones. Like for example, I changed the entire color scheme and like entire house of the big house, and the starter home I rebuilt like 8 times. This one I rebuilt a few times, but I kind of decided early on what I wanted it to look like, and then it was fine. It's these like the two extremes of the starter and the 50 by 50 lot that were so hard for me to figure out what to do with, because they have the opposite problem, right? Like one of them you can't have too many things, and the other one you want to have enough things. It's just how do you like walk that line? I will of course link all of my friends' videos down below because they built all these other amazing lots, and honestly their lots look better than mine. But honestly at the end of the day, I think they all work together really well, and I am so excited for you guys to play with this pack. I think the world looks so cool. I mean, I usually spend all of my time after a new pack comes out renovating all the lots, but like I don't need to do that anymore. Like they're so good. What am I gonna do now? I'll probably renovate my own lots and make fun of them because it wouldn't be a Simsie video without renovating something. I want to quickly thank EA for letting me do this. Like this was the coolest opportunity of my entire life. I cannot believe that I got to actually like work on something that would go into the game. This is like my dream come true. Literally my dream come true. I've been playing this game for years. I can't believe that like my builds are in it. I built something that's in it. If I could go back and tell myself when I was like 11 that this was gonna happen, I don't know, I would cry. I did cry about this. I was so excited. I'm in the credits. They put me in the credits. Sometimes I just want to like look at the map and cry. It's so beautiful. Do you know what else? I've been wanting a mountain world in The Sims 4 for years. That's like what I've been saying. People keep being like, Kayla, what pack do you want next? What world do you want next? And I'm like, a mountain. I want a mountain. It's right there. It's right here. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to go. I've got a couple more videos sort of like this one showing off how I built the different houses, but I just wanted to come in and like show you everything I did. So stay tuned for those. And like I said, I'll link videos from everybody else down below if you want to go like explore the rest of them and see what they built and see what they say about them. I'm really excited to like hear from their perspective what they've done. But on that note, I'm gonna go. Please make sure to leave a like and comment and subscribe and do all those fun YouTube things. And in case you guys didn't know, I post new videos every single day. And so I will see you all tomorrow. Bye everybody. Can you believe I'm in the game? Me, lilsimsie, Kayla Sims, I'm in the game, sort of. My builds are. I built something for The Sims 4. This is the coolest, most amazing, incredible, wonderful thing that's ever happened to me.